Hmm. Can't spell words. There we go. I love the thumbnail, I don't know why. Oh, hell yeah. To be fair, I'm gonna be streaming later tonight. And the reason for that is I'm not done. I'm not done, and I have to set my webcam, my little damn thing for it broke, so I have to figure out where, like, what I have to tape it to to make it work. I gotta bootleg it, but I don't know. I need to find a thing for it. It's the whole thing. I'll do it later tonight. It's whatever. I just have a break right now, so I'm gonna take my break and enjoy it. Anyways, as you can see, this is this is my new obsession. As you can see, I have problems in their person. But I'm going to be talking about something I saw on Twitter that bothered me. And then I'm also going to be talking about my new obsession. Let's start with the obsession first to have some positivity in. Also, hi, it's me. It's a me. It's me, VTuber. I'm not trying to be one, I promise. I am. I have a problem. Every time like I find something really fun to do, I've been wanting to do 3D modeling, period. Like I've been looking, like I downloaded Blender, I was gonna do a whole thing and try to figure out how to do it. But what's really fun for me right now is this, because it's already like a pre-made model, so I can like practice. I did stuff with the hair. I'm like really like excited. I'm touching my screen, like I'm just like ugh. But I also have to be quiet because there's a kid behind me sleeping. When he wakes up, I gotta leave, so I'm like gotta be quiet, which is hard for me because I'm spazzy. Anyways, how are you all doing? Hello, Goblin. I see you. I recognize your existence. I see ya. I'm just being a weirdo. As what I'm doing. I'm trying to see how the hair is. I have like a little. She has a little. It's hard to see because she has black hair, but she has. Where'd it go? She has a little cowlick. It's kind of hard to see. It's like it's there, like it's visible, but for some reason it's kind of hard to see. Oh yeah, I accidentally overlaid it underneath the bangs. I should have done that. Damn. There's a cute little cowlick. You can kind of see it now with the wind blowing, but like it's what it is. Anyways, enough about me wanting to be a VTuber so bad. I want to be one so bad. I just love. I don't know what about 3D models have just got me like loving it. I don't know. I want to make the ears pink. I need to change the ears, the ear color. I didn't know I could make ears like this though. Anyways, let's talk about something that's not my gross obsession. Put this umbrella away. Let's talk about accountability, apology videos, and how people are trash. And how this community is trash. Again, for the 4th time we're gonna talk about this. Was I editing before I started? I think I want to edit a bit more on the face. Because I finally figured out kind of what she's gonna look like, which is pretty much like a homeless man. She's homeless. She's homeless. I love it. She could be begging on the street soon. That makes it sound bad. But yeah. I did give her like, I did start out with a boyish body because I wanted to be a guy. You know, it might still be a guy. I don't know what I want for this yet. But now that I got this out the way, let me figure out. I think I want to do more on the face. I think that's the worst. I don't know what this error thing is. Sure, I'll report the issue. Oh, I have to do. Oh, no, I don't want to do all that. So I'll let it go. What was I doing? What was I saying? But train of thought that quick. What was I talking about? Right, accountability and all that. So for me personally, Luna personally, you guys kind of already know how I feel about apology videos. It's just forced. It's like forcing people to change who they are, which is, you can't. And people who genuinely think that telling someone to apologize is the thing you should be doing, I question you. Oh, I forgot to change the eyebrows. I forgot about that. Well, no time like the present. It's the thing is that I saw something on Twitter. I also could talk about the dream situation. It kind of goes into this, but let's just talk about the accountability thing first. Someone was talking about someone taking accountability for their actions and whatnot, and why it's so hard for people to do that. And I'm like, first of all, the person I was talking about it, I'm like, do you even know if those things are true? No, but you're taking them for somebody's word, which, yeah, like, actually that's pretty, you know, like, that's pretty normal for this community. But also, when it comes to this particular situation, or not even this particular situation, just what this person said, it dawned on me that they think taking accountability would have done something. Most of the time, when you see creators like pussyfooting around apologies or making excuses, it's because they don't care. And they'll be shamed aggressively and stupidly into caring. Let me not say this, like, I'm not trying to say that people shouldn't apologize, they shouldn't be accountable for their actions, but here's an example. Let's say you criticized me personally for blowing up on people. Let's say I do that, which I don't think I do, but let's say I do that and you were like, you need to be held accountable for blowing up on, you know, what's her face or whoever, and we're trying to hold you accountable for that. And I'm like, what if I just said, well, I like that. I like doing that. I like blowing up on people. I like being aggressive. I like being rude. I like doing this, that, and third. So what? What are you gonna do? Like, genuinely, what are you gonna do? Nothing. Cause you can't do nothing. We want to have this... we want to have this... control over people and their actions and what we want them to do, and realistically that's just not, we can't. You can't control. Let me go a little bit deeper with this. Actually, I could just do it like here. Well, I gotta have to be a little bit more subtle with it, but you can technically try, and that's kind of what people that go out of their way to not harass someone but be rude to someone do. But in reality, a second, I got like low-key focus. In reality, a second. Sorry. You don't really see the eyebrows much. I technically don't have to change them. I feel like I'm obligated to. But, what was I trying to say? I lost my train of thought just that quick. Right. You don't... Kind of works. This works for what I'm trying to do. I can just kind of erase it if I need to. You can't try to change someone. You can't force change on someone and then get mad when they're being themselves. That's why I remember the days when people were just like, I don't like you and I'm gonna unsubscribe from your channel, instead of, I don't like you but I'm going to stay subscribed to your channel and harass you the entire time. That's a problem for me. And that's literally become like a culture in the fucking art commentary community. And they'll swear to God that's not a thing. It's a thing. That's a thing people start doing. Like genuinely. Because if you didn't like someone and you just didn't like their work, or you just didn't like what they were doing, you would just not like them, be done with it. Now, even if you did like them and you don't like what they're doing right now, if they're literally telling, because that's the thing that irritates me, people will straight up tell other people, hey, I don't care. I don't care that you want me to do this. I don't care that you feel this way. I'm not gonna do it. I don't care. And those people will then take the time to just get, it's not long enough. Those people will then get mad at that person and cancel them. And that's kind of a problem for me personally. This is why I keep telling you guys, I don't like this person, I stopped watching their content, and I moved on. Because that's what you're supposed to do. Again, does that mean you have to or does that mean that you can't hold them accountable for their actions? No, that doesn't. But I think we're forgetting what that means. Holding someone accountable for their actions means that there are basically, it's another way of saying there are actions, or there are consequences to your actions. Now, what those consequences are depends on the action itself. But if someone is a dick, right? If someone gets exposed for being a bad person, right? The consequence to that action should be that people don't talk about them, or not talk about them, but people don't like them anymore and people stay away from them, right? That should be a simple consequence to that action. You're a bad person, so we don't want to fuck with you anymore. That's where this where it starts bothering me about the whole thing of forcing the apology, because you're forcing somebody to be something that they're not. If somebody feels like that was an appropriate action and they feel like they can justify it in some way, then you're basically trying to be like, hey, don't be a terrible person. They're just like, but I am. Like, that's what I want to do. That's what you know what I mean? And I guess it also just reminded me of the Peaches thing, because I keep seeing videos pop up in my recommended. I keep having to fucking click that one button to be like, I don't want to see this. No, YouTube, I don't want to be recommended this. Like, they want Peaches to apologize and take accountability for her actions so bad, and I'm just like, but why though? I pondered that thought, but now looking at it, I'm like, oh no, I definitely know why. It's because we don't actually want to give accountability. We want that person to apologize so we don't have to deal with it. Because here's the thing about giving someone accountability. It's a constant. Let me explain something to you about commentators and this community in general that I am a part of because of what I do. Technically, I'm a part of it, just in the category sense. I don't fucking away in here. They don't do that. They just don't. To constantly keep someone accountable for their actions is something this community just doesn't do. If anything, they do the quite opposite, actually. Example is with, I don't want to bring that situation back. I'm not gonna bring that situation back up. I wanted to, but I'm not gonna. Example would be like, it's the reason why a lot of people that you see people make exposed videos about, you never hear about them again. And then people get mad at you for making videos about it. Because even though now that you know about it, you're holding them accountable, they're like, no, I already talked about it. I got my money. I got my views. You need to stop talking about it. That shit irritates the shit. Don't bring that situation up, damn it. See that? I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna read what you have to say, but like, nobody's trying to do that. What they're trying to do is they're trying to have that person apologize and hide what they're doing. Now it's like, okay, well, you're a shitty person. Instead of changing your shittiness, actually telling you how to change and grow and seeing you change and grow, which won't be a simple process. It will be very slow and it will take a long time. I'm gonna have to keep calling you out and out until you're better. I'm not gonna do that. What I want you to do is apologize and hide it from everybody again for the 4th time, because usually this happens like once, twice, 3 times. That's how I know that's how I know people don't care. And then people keep acting surprised, and it's never, in the worst part, it's never those same people that bring it up. It's always somebody else that brings it to their attention to where they have to. They don't care. Do you get what I'm saying? They want, like example, I feel like people want Peaches to apologize and hide that she's a shitty person. She might be a shitty person because I don't barely anything's confirmed at this point. But she might be a shitty person, so then they can go on guilt free without having to actually keep her accountable and continue to watch her and continue to support her because they like her. And why I said that the dream situation, I'm having a stroke. The dream situation plays into it because even though I don't know, like, I know there's a bunch of, like, he's a, not a scammer, what's called. They're saying the dream, like, cheated in his speed runs or whatever the fuck. Even though that part of it I have no idea about, nor do I care about. I didn't even know that Minecraft could be speedrunned. I didn't know that was a thing. I might be thinking of a different person. No, I'm thinking of the same person. I didn't even know that was a thing, and that was a whole, like a whole thing people did, because that game seems like you can't speedrun it, but apparently you can. With that situation in particular, the reason it kind of carries over to this one is because it's similar in a sense of stands. And stands are a problem. First of all, people act like stands are regular fans. No. Super fans exist. Fans exist. Stands are we all know what K-pop stands are. It's a totally different league of people. It's not the same. People keep acting like it's the same. It's not. Stands are insane. Like, and that's kind of the problem, is because you want to stand that person that you don't know, that has been fucking up and is a, well, but another thing, they're human. They're a human being that fucks up. You want to stand that person so bad that you just want them to blindly apologize without even giving them the breather to really think about their actions and consider what's happening and you know, really process that they did anything wrong, just so you can continue to stand because you're obsessed. Like, it's a whole thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, for example, I loved, what's her name? Damn, I forgot her name. There was a person that I enjoyed a lot, and it was like I was in high school and I really shouldn't have enjoyed her as much as I did, but I did. I forget her name. It was like an artist. I don't even remember who she is anymore, but I remember that I love this lady like, I was very much of a stand, like a poor stand, so I couldn't even get the money to be able to purchase her shit, but if I could, every concert I'd be going to, every live show I watched, I knew this woman inside and out. Then I got older. I started looking at people around me a bit differently, and I got common sense. And I started looking at her, and I'm like, ooh, you got problems. You're doing this, that, and the third. You fucked that one person over. You kind of rude to all your fans. There are a lot of problems with you. And at the time, it wasn't like a thing of people wanting her to apologize, but she was getting a lot of hate for it very constantly. And I'm like, well, she should just apologize, or she's different, or she changed, or this. I wanted her to be something that she wasn't so bad because I liked her so much. And that's not a thing that you should be doing. You should try to give that person back their humanity instead of putting them on a pedestal or shitting on them to the point where you think they're trash. I mean, and when I mean trash, I mean not how I use trash or how you use trash. I mean, like, people start genuinely thinking people are actual worms in the dirt, and it's like, that's not okay. That's not appropriate. That's not okay. People are people. They're humans. They have their humanity, and you need to give them back their humanity. Because personally, even with the Peaches stuff, all the stuff was so far in between, it could have been mistakes. It could have been problems. I haven't, again, not really able to confirm if any of the shit is, a lot of the shit that, quote unquote, she did is real anyways, but, sorry, I had to get my pen from off the floor. Excuse me. When it comes to who she is, I see her as a person and see all the things that she does. It can make her a shittier person, but I start with her as a person. I don't start with her as, I've been a fan of her. I'm not a fan, but I watched her a lot. I did watch her quite a bit. Well, no, that's a lie. I stopped watching her content
Kind of same way I stopped watching creep shows art content. So I kind of like just started trickling down. It's like, oh, I'm watching you, and I don't really fuck with you. But I started, even when I really really like somebody or I'm a really really big fan of somebody, I start them off as human first. Like, you're a regular person. You could definitely have made this mistake. It's not implausible. You know what I mean? And work my way up or down from what, whatever they did and how the severity of it. And when people start at the top, they usually end up going to the bottom. And when they start at the bottom, they usually, I'm having a stroke. They usually go back up to the top. You know what I mean? That's why you see a lot of shitty people that are in situations where they're vindicated for stuff somehow start looking a lot better. You know what I mean? Or obviously for some reason start looking like a lot like a better person. And it's like, no, they're not a better person. They just didn't do this one fucked up thing. Do you get what I'm saying? Which lifted them up from wherever they were before, but it doesn't make them the best person in the world all of a sudden. And these weird shifts and fluctuations people have in their opinions of other people are what usually have situations like this happening. I keep bringing up the Peaches situation because it keeps getting brought up in my recommended. As soon as it stops, I promise I'll stop. But in her situation, even that, right? People tend to forget anything, even if somebody that's hated in this community makes a video about Peaches, they are looked at as more positive because they did. Do you get what I'm saying? Because that person who might have done something shit, like they could have genuinely done something super shitty because they, how can I phrase it? Because they're talking about someone that probably, well, I don't want to speculate on her fan base, but has a fan base like that where there's low-key stands and there are people that fluctuate their opinion. And by the way, most of these people are children. Let me put that out there. A lot of these stands are kids. Like, it's not, most of the time it's not a grown adult doing it. It becomes weird at one point, but they don't know better. Like, they're children, they don't know better, so they just see what their favorite creators are doing, which is why I have a problem with this community in general, because their favorite creators will do that. Because instead of giving their friend that humanity they used to, because they don't want to get in trouble by the community and they don't want to get their hate on their videos, instead of giving their friend that humanity, they're just like, nah, you're a shitty person now. I'm disappointed in you. I'm not even gonna bring you up in videos until everybody else calms down about it. And it's like, no, because if you genuinely wanted to critique your friend, you would have done it at the time. The reason you're doing it now is because she's getting called out. I don't do that shit with my friends. My boyfriend will tell you, I don't do that shit. If you're fucking up now, I'm gonna tell you that you're fucking up. You know what I mean? Or I'm not gonna agree with you on this. Or it's not gonna be a thing. And I'm not gonna rub it in your face. And I'm not gonna make a public thing like, you're such a shitty person. It's this, that, and I've been told you, girl, that you've been fucking up. I've been told you that there's something wrong with what you're doing. I've been told you. You been knew this. Like, don't act surprised now that I'm being like, I told you come up, come back up. I told you that people would say something and you didn't want to listen to me, so like, don't come crying to me neither. It's a whole thing. And so I just get so tired of seeing, why can't this person just do this? I'm so ashamed of them. I'm so disappointed in them. And I'm like, you heard the first time and you weren't. You heard the first time you didn't fact check it. You heard the first time you just believed your friend. And don't give me that, well, I was under the impression that she didn't do it. It's your friend. Your friend can take screenshots. Her arm's not broken. It's your friend. Your friend can prove what they're saying. You didn't care before. That's really what it was. You straight up just didn't care. There's nothing wrong. Well, I'm gonna say there's nothing wrong with that. Again, putting them back in that human place, there's nothing necessarily crazy about that idea. We do that all the time with our friends and the people that we love. But when you put yourself on a high pedestal, like, oh, I'm better because I called my friend out. See, people don't Don't mob me. It brings into question shit. I'm just saying. Oh, by the way, give me like 2 seconds. I need to call somebody back. I'll be back really quickly. Listen to music while I am gone. There we go. Okay. I'm back. I had to... I should bring up my mic a little bit more. I had to call someone. It's fine. What was I doing? Right, I remember what I was talking about. Let me read some of your comments. I'm sorry. Hell yeah, stream time. I forgot. I forgot I saw that. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, people are still harassing Toby to apologize for calling, breast on trans melon milkies like damn touch grass if a throwaway comment bothers you that much. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we talk about, I mean, well, wait, actually, stop. That was a thing? Wait, I didn't even register that. Wait, that was a thing? I don't think I remember. I either didn't remember hearing about that or like it went right over my fucking head. For calling trans men's. For calling breast on. Oh, breast of trans men milkies. Wait. So like, okay. So explain to me. Okay, I need explanation a little bit. So when you say trans men, you mean like am I getting confused? I'm getting confused. So you mean like boobs on someone that's transitioning to be a man, or you mean a man that's transitioning to be a woman? Wait, which one? Because I'm confused. I'm sick right now. I'm confused. So I think I think you would mean that people that are transitioning to be a man, still having boobs. She called them milkies. Is that what you're saying? In what context was this? See, I don't remember some of these stuff because I tried to avoid that drama like the plague, even though I was really irritated about it. I like went over the shit once and I was like, I'm good, and avoided it out of my mind. It depends on the context, honestly, because the context matters at that point. If it was somebody that she didn't know, well, no, yeah, if it was like I think if she didn't know that person was trans, that'd be different. If she knew the person, if she knew the person was transitioning and she knew that person, like the context was she knew that they became she knew that they were uncomfortable with it or something like that and she was making a joke of it, that's different. The context of that situation matters in my personal opinion, because it's like yeah, it matters. Yeah, it matters. It depends. Was that her friend? It depends. It depends. It matters because, like, it depends on how that person may feel on it. You know what I mean? If they even know that's a thing. That whole thing depends. I can't tell you. I'd have to look at the context of that situation. Dream cheated and staged his shit It's blatantly untrue. Oh, him cheating and staging his shit is blatantly untrue. I'm gonna ignore your comments because you're mean to me. But with the dream thing, well, with that shit, uh, blatantly untrue. I mean, it's more of a speculation, if anything, and even though people can't prove it, the information or the data behind it that I looked at because I watched one video on it was it sounded like extremely like it was like not normal. It was a normal drop rate basically. It was like weirdly unbalanced from what I gathered, but I mean, if nothing, he could just have somebody do another individual investigation on it if that's how much he's bothered by it. Because I'm just like, listen, if you think I was cheating and you're saying that the drop rate was crazy difficult or whatever, or not crazy difficult, but crazy unrealistic, and that I shouldn't have done or gotten what I gotten, then okay, well, somebody else look at it too, so at least there's a second opinion there. But he didn't, and he's just like, no, that's just not untrue, or that's just not true. And I'm like, well, I mean, why would they have? Why do they care enough for you? Like, why would they care enough to lie about you personally? Like, what beef do they have with you to where they would care enough to lie about you personally? Especially because it's a sixth place thing. It's not even like you're first place or you're this. You're apparently he was in sixth place in that thing anyways. And it's like, okay, well, why would they go after you and not someone that's in first place or someone who's why you specifically? It just doesn't. The motive really isn't there, in my personal opinion. But maybe I just don't know the entire story there. I don't know. Dream is cringe. He made a situation about toxic stan culture, about race. Did he make it about race? Wait, did he? I watched the Bo Blacks video on it, but did he make it about race? That's stupid. Again, stan culture is pretty toxic. It's literally why we all shit on like K-pop stans in the sense of the ones on Twitter, because it's fucking toxic. You have people literally being creepy and obsessive. There's literally a whole another group of stans. What they're called, they're not called stans at that point. It's like another level that I don't want to say that because that's rude. It gets creepy and obsessive at one point to where it's like, sure, these are artists, but they're also people, and even though somebody like Dream would love for you to make whole Twitter pages dedicated to them and everything they do, and some people enjoy that, sometimes it does get to a point where it's like, okay, it gets a bit obsessive for some people, and it does put this person on a pedestal they just don't need to be on. And knowing that he has a Minecraft-esque like fan base in sense of kids and younger people, it does tend to breed obsession and problems. It's not like he can just be like, no, they're fine, my fan base is fine. It's like, okay, it's fine for you because you're benefiting off of it. When someone gets attacked because they're calling something out of you, or they're calling you out for some reason, or they get attacked because they say something rude about you, it's not the it blatantly becomes toxic. Because if I sent any of any of the little fan base I have, if I sent the two people who would care after somebody, it doesn't even matter if it's two, it becomes toxic. Because why would, because you get what I'm saying. And it's a whole conversation that needs to be had about whether that's even healthy for kids. And that's why I said that I don't really feel like when it comes to taking accountability, it's anything more than, I don't like this person, you shouldn't like them either. Because even if I do like this person that's looked at as a bad person, and so what? Unless they're a pedo or unless they murdered someone, I don't see it. You know what I mean? People still watch hella people who are problematic, and they're like, but this person that, you know, was mean, they're the ones we should go after. And at one point it's like, okay, well, I think the reason they don't go after the other people is because they don't care. And at that point I'm like, okay, well, why should I care? You know what I mean? Well, If I was in that situation where I was being attacked, I'd be like, well, why should I care then? It'll blow over soon. Like, anyone with a 20 IQ can see that. I don't know. I will agree his video on stan culture is not great. He just missed the actual argument made about POC that's skin color to someone making a speech about apple pie when everyone else is talking about rocket science. Pretty much. It's like they were talking about prime example is just looking at the comments about the person who was making the initial comment about stan culture. It's like he immediately got attacked by you and everybody else because he had an opinion. That's kind of the problem. Like, you're proving his point. Like, I was really mad because I'm just like, you're proving his point that it's toxic. Like, literally, somebody made an opinion. I get that Twitter's a toxic place, but it fucking proves what he was saying. He just made an opinion about how he feels about it. He even said, like, made it very clear, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not doing this, or I feel a certain way about this because of this. It's just how I feel. And people were just like, well, fuck you, basically. And it's like, totally, that's not toxic culture of any kind where you... And then he tried to turn around like, I should just be positive towards all of my fans because obviously this is going to hurt them because they're being called something. And it's like, if you're not a toxic stan, why are you offended? If somebody's having an opinion about that, why are you offended? If your fans have to be offended by something like that, like, it doesn't change their life, but because that's the shit I'm talking about, because they're so obsessed with you, somehow that affects their life. This person they don't watch or care about affects their life because they're talking about you, and be like, that's, do you get what I'm saying? Like, how does that not seem toxic? I can't. Also, hello B, hello Vanilla. I didn't say hello to you, but hello. I'm sorry. It's that whole I voted out of the traitor, so I can't be the traitor mentality here. What I don't understand is why apologizing and admitting you're wrong is so hard. I can understand that. Well, I can understand both sides. First of all, it looks like it's really hard because you're not the one going through it. I gotta be 100%. It's because you're not the one going through it. If you were the one going through it, it'd be different. You get what I'm saying? And why is because if you apologize, let me say it like this. If you knew what you were doing was wrong blatantly, you would have apologized for it. But you don't feel that way. That's why it's so hard. Whether that's because it's because of that's why you have to take everything. That's why I take everything into consideration when I critique someone or I'm having an issue with somebody, and that's why I start being like, well, maybe they don't feel that way, because feelings, especially in situations like this, do like desperately matter. Because if you feel one way and someone feels another way, that's not something I can go off of, because I can make an argument for both. You know what I mean? When it's coming from someone else's perspective, there are also like 102 variables that go into that. Example, I have anxiety. If I had an anxiety attack that day, I'm not going to be nice to you. Like, straight up. Most of the comments that you see where I'm being like blatantly aggressive, it's because I'm not having a good day that day. I'm stressed out. I gotta work. I gotta do this. Maybe somebody pissed me off. Maybe there's something going on in my personal life that you don't even know about. But I said that not thinking that it'd be that big of a deal. You know what I mean? That's why... That's a whole nother thing that I was actually going to bring up before I got interrupted. You need to be blatant... Let me take off my headphones for this. You need to be blatantly aware that I am an adult. A lot of these people we are talking about are adults. You know what adults are supposed to do? Communicate. I'm sick of that. Kai Namnia tried to pull that shit as well. Well, I don't trust her, so I'm not going to talk to her. No, you're an adult, dumb bitch. You have to communicate with people, even if you don't like them. Even if you don't trust them. Because you may get an answer that you didn't get before. You may get a perspective that wasn't given to you before. So when it's a problem and you have a problem with someone and it's like, oh, well, they're being mean to me, you need to communicate with them that. Even if it's hard, even if they're being an asshole to you, even that gives you more ammo, if nothing. So you can be like, well, you can't say this because I told you. You can't say this because I said this. So even the little one time confronting her shit that Creepshow did, no, you're an adult, and maybe that's a critique that you need so you can do it next time. Is if somebody's being an asshole to you, which she doesn't do often, by the way. She doesn't do this often, by the way. You need to communicate with them. If you feel attacked, you need to communicate with them, because it could be something that you don't even know. Literally, I've had this happen way too many times because I communicate with people. I've had people that have been aggressive towards me, and because I talk to them and try to see their point of it and try to see their side, or at least try to have that little bit of communication, they really told me, I'm having a bad day right now. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was talking about. Like, I'm just having a bad day, or I just feel this way, or maybe because something personal happened to me, or I have a personal connection with this person is why I feel this way. I just don't know why I was being so mean and aggressive. I'm sorry. Because you communicate with them. Even and I mean, these people were being buttholes. Like, the inner of the butthole, they were being all of it. The doodle it was all a thing. Doodle was coming out and everything. I love every time I say I'm gonna do something like draw, and I never do it. You saw me make eyebrows, and that was it. But I've had people come up to me and say just shitty things, and then immediately start apologizing because I started communicating with them and told them, well, this is just how I feel, and I'm sorry even if I offended them, and I'm like, I don't think I offended you. I didn't say anything mean to you. I'll still be like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I just said it. I wanted you to understand how I feel, and I think I just got too aggressive. I'm like, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're usually, I don't want to say boundaries. That's not the word I'm looking for. There are usually ways around everything. And even an argument can be, like, you don't find a way around it. You don't always have to necessarily confront someone. Hell, even if you're uncomfortable, because I know a lot of people have, that type of problem with getting really anxious and whatnot. Can I make the lips a different color? I don't think I can. Let me see. Oh, it's just the inside of the mouth. Sorry. I was gonna throw up a little bit. I'm having a thing. I'm still sick. I just am lying to you guys and make it seem like I'm not, but I really am. My head hurts a lot, so I'm just trying to not pass out here. But what I was trying to say was that even when it comes to small things, like, arguments, things like that, even if you have anxiety and it's hard for you to maybe talk to people, which I know for me, I used to be mute. I used to not talk, but I would either message that person or tell them, can I communicate with you in another way? Or, even when I'm having like an argument with somebody, I would prefer to talk to them. Like, messaging is bad because I can't spell sometimes. When I get mad, I'll be speaking gibberish for a while there. So I prefer to talk to people because it's easier. Or I prefer to, or even if you have anxiety, I would suggest going through someone else. That's even an option. I tell that person, hey, I can't talk to you right now. I'm overwhelmed. I'm going to tell this person how I feel, and we'll have a communication that way. You know what I mean? Make sure the other person, consents to being like the middleman there, because sometimes that could be an awkward situation. But usually, that type of thing even works. You know what I mean? Just to have that. I didn't want to do that. Just to have that communication there could just mean the world of difference for any conversation, any argument, anything. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's the thing that's bothering me, is that when it comes to the YouTube sphere, it's basically a bunch of grown children. You know what I mean? People that don't know how to communicate, can't talk to one another. As soon as they feel slighted, all that communication skills, all that bullshit goes out the window. All that shit they be preaching to you, out the fucking window. As soon as they feel slighted. Which isn't a bad thing, because again, people are human. But when you sit on your high horse, it gets a bit annoying for me personally. Me, Luna personally, me, Tuna personally. Like, it gets vastly annoying. You know what I mean? That's why I tell you guys to do things that I don't do. And I'll apologize if I don't do that. If you're just like, well, you didn't communicate with that to me, or I didn't feel like that was a thing, or you know, however you feel. If you communicate with that, if you communicate that to me, even after the fact, I'll try to be understanding. Unless you like do something that makes me really really mad. Even then, there is also the thing of pride, because let's be honest, unless that thing is very tiny and minute, trying to express when you're wrong is so difficult. Unless it like this thing doesn't change your perspective of me, you're not gonna like, how can I explain it? You're not gonna want to tell people that you just fucked up in a royal way, because people are going to immediately go, turn on you. And you might do that later, or you might do that if you have the inkling that it might benefit you. But usually that's not going to be a thing. So that's another thing that's of why it's like really hard for people to even take accountability. Because even the people who are majority in the right don't take accountability for their actions. Because if they are even evenly in the wrong with the other person, they destroy their whole argument and they look like an asshole. And then they start going in the red when it comes to like credibility and trust. And they don't want that. And that's not even that's not a weird thing to not want. But when you can't even do that when you're majority in the right and you have the positivity on your side, how the hell are you supposed to have somebody that you're already attacking doing that? Like, how are they supposed to do that? How are they supposed to come to that understanding? They're not going to. You know? It's the reason why I always try to shit on everybody equally. I try to shit on everybody in every commentary that I make. Sometimes it is more one side than the other, because I genuinely don't have too many critiques for the other side. But most of the time I try to shit on everybody equally now. Solely because every situation, well, let me say this. Here on the internet, here in this community specifically nowadays, everything is black and white. Either you're the shitty person or you're the good person. It's really never any in between. The majority of the time, anyways. Yeah, I'm generalizing, but the majority of the time it isn't. But in the real world, everything's very gray. Everything's very much like the background here. It's very gray. And I think I realized that that's kind of what brings people... That's what makes these really stupid pay situations look like nothing when you go into the real world and you're just like, they're mean to me. And people are like, so? The reason they're like, so is because it's in the gray. Okay, well, just don't talk to them. Okay, well, just block them. Leave them alone. Like, why do you care this person's mean to you, where you have to vent on it like it's the worst thing that happened to you? You're not a baby. You're not a 4-year-old. You're not a 14-year-old on the internet. You're a grown woman. Who cares? Who cares if this poor woman, they're mean to me? I can't believe it. She was so rude. I know I'm grown, but like, it's just crazy, you know? Like, no one's gonna care. Move on. If that person's so rude, be with other people. It's like, well, I am with other people. That's why I feel comfortable to call. Like, if you're with non-toxic people, again, unless this person did something significant to you, like actually significant to you, not they were mean to me, they were talking shit about me, like people never talk shit about people. Unless it was like that person doxed you, you know what I mean? That person... Even if that person scammed you, I guess I could see a video on that. But if it's just, again, boo-hoo, they're mean to me, I'm like, I can't care less. I feel like, than not at all, you know? I can't care less than that. It doesn't matter. Move on. That's why I don't block people personally. But that's why, literally, when I have conversations with people or arguments, you stop hearing from me at one point. Because I'm not going to block you because that's too much and I don't have the patience. But you'll just stop hearing from me. I blocked my boyfriend because I genuinely... Because it's like a when you're in a relationship, it's like different. It genuinely is. It's different because that person you actually do want to talk to, but you know that like I can't talk to him right now. I'm gonna curse him out. I'm gonna say some stuff that's gonna hurt his feelings. I ain't get off my screen. Like, so I block him personally. I block my boyfriend when I don't want to talk to him. That's different. But anybody else, I'm like I don't care enough to even block you. I'm not gonna talk to you because I never have to. Like I'm a grown person. I never have to talk to you again in life. Like ever in life. Him I gotta talk to at one point. Him I gotta at least break up with him if nothing, which I'm not going to do, but if I ever have to, I at least gotta break up with him and give him back his shit. So I have to still talk to him at one point, and I don't want to talk to him right now. But the rest of y'all, I don't even have to look at you ever again. I have to look at your icon. I don't know your screen name. I don't care. Like I don't. So again, it's this thing of that's accountability. Be 100 with you. But people don't want that. They want her to say sorry. They want the person that is bad, period, to say sorry so they don't have to keep that person accountable. So other people can just call them out when they're shitty. And they can go right back to, yeah, I don't want to, let me call my friend out again. And it's like, excuse me. Or you could just not be friends with them. If they're that bad, to where this is such a deep problem, then it is what it is, in my opinion. Because even then, like, everybody usually is kind of the same when it comes to this type of shit, to be perfectly honest with you, because it's like, for example, I'm only using her for example because I saw this, and this is the whole thing that, like, irritated the shit out of me. When it came to Toby specifically, I hate most of everything she does. She's not, yeah, she's not good. But the one thing I never really understood was that with her and Creepshow, how people got mad at them for screenshotting things, you know what I mean, like their comments and whatnot, and blasting them. I understood it in the sense of, if you don't like that type of thing, that can be irritating, because I don't like that thing personally. But then I'm like, but y'all like these YouTubers, and they do the exact same thing. And that's kind of the biggest hypocrisy, is that I see them being like this, and they're like, but this YouTuber's okay. And I'm like, doesn't that YouTuber do worse? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you don't care about these people or that people because you did this one thing. And I'm like, but didn't this person do this thing too? Didn't she do this? Does my memory like am I losing my mind? Did they not do this? They did, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter because we're not talking about that. No, let's keep the same energy. If this is so bad to where you have to make an entire rant about it, keep the damn same energy. But again, we're not going to, because we're human people. And humans are the most flawed creatures of life. So, what is that? What is that again? What is that? Let me see. What the fuck is that? Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what that was. But we're flawed creatures that have a problem doing that, keeping the same energy, because for us to keep the same energy means that we'd have to keep, again, well, it goes right back to it, we'd have to keep those people accountable. We'd have to be like, no, you can't do that, or no, that's not acceptable, or cancel everybody every 5 seconds. But of course we're not going to do that. That's why I have a problem with certain people making certain accusations or claims when someone's being canceled. Like, all of a sudden, this person did this, and it's a terrible thing. And I'm like, well, you weren't saying that before. And the other people that you watch that you say that are great and you approve them, they do the exact same thing. So are you bringing that up because you don't like this person now, or are you bringing it up because it's an actual problem? Like, which one? Make it make sense. You know what I mean? It's like same thing with, like, I feel like with Trisha Paytas. People talk about her like she's fucking the devil incarnate. And I'm like, half the shit that she does, most of the YouTubers do. like that clickbait shit, that have shit on mental illness, that have pretended they had one. Most of them have done similar shit and made a whole joke of it. Similar shit. And it's like, well, you know what I mean? That's why I watch, well, I don't really watch it. I look at a lot of streams and things from, like, example, Augie, because I talked about him recently because I talk about them a lot. Augie, or what's his name? I always forget his name for some reason. Nicholas Diorio, or what's his name? Or Tipster, or I forget the last one's name, but you know who I'm talking about, the specific group of people I'm talking about. I talk about them a lot, but I also tell you guys in the same breath, because I actually started watching them a lot more, I don't approve of their content. Even Turkey Tom, I don't approve of their content. Some of the stuff they do is just not okay with me personally. Now, does that mean I'm gonna make a whole video canceling them and everything they do? No, because same thing with people that I also watch but don't watch like that, like Creepshow Art, for example, or like Hopeless Peaches, for example. I don't really care. I don't like when people are called out for shit and then the other person has done something similar, which is why we're having this whole conversation about their situation and why I tell you guys I don't fucking care and it's stupid, because she'll say that, she'll find something wrong with a lot of people and a lot of different things, and a lot of people are making videos about Peaches and saying a lot of shitty things about her and how shitty her content is and how shitty she has, and all the shit that she has done is terrible. And then I'm like, but those same people that either you're referencing in this video, I've seen you watch, you got subscribed to your channel, like all these people, they're doing similar shit. And I'm like, that's why I don't like shitting on people for things like that, because I'm like, you're doing similar shit. If you're gonna say that, then don't also in the same breath act like these other YouTubers are great and good, because they're not. This is why I don't stand a lot of people. I joke and don't get me wrong, I joke and say like, well, I stand, I love them, yes, bitch, it's all fun and games, but realistically, I don't care either way. But also, that it's also might be me being more of a cynical person. You also have to recognize that I have trust issues in general, and not like I have trust issues, like the whole thing. Like, genuinely, I don't trust anybody because of my problems. So when it comes to trusting even people I don't know, well, that sounds really obvious, but even when it comes to trusting people I genuinely don't know, I don't trust them. I don't trust like shit they do. I think being a YouTuber is gonna be good for me. I'm realizing I talk a lot with my hands, and that's why I can't really do stuff while I'm talking, because I like have to move my hands to where like I'm like voguing over here, the whole thing. But again, that was my whole point of like why people don't take accountability, because people are human. We're human beings, and we all have flaws, and we all don't give or keep certain people accountable, and we all fuck up, and we all ignore evidence, and we all don't listen, and we all trust people and take their word for it, and then don't actually confirm it. And even if it's right, by the way, it doesn't mean that it's okay that you didn't confirm it. But it's whatever, because we're human, but we're not going to treat each other like we're human. We're going to treat each other like we're trash when it's convenient for us. I don't like that shit. Because people will do that, and then the worst part is when it comes out, not saying it will, because I don't know the situation, nor do I even care at this point, but when situations come out to where that person's wrong, or y'all got played, or y'all were overreacting, or because you didn't fact check something, it's fucked. Those same people that are like, why is it so hard for people to take accountability? I don't understand. All this, they're really quiet. Or they're really all of a sudden like, we just didn't know, I don't understand. Like, it's like, no, I'm gonna keep you accountable. Why didn't you do your research? You said it as if this thing you were talking about was set in stone. You knew exactly what you were talking about. You did all the research you could. People were stumped for thinking otherwise. And then when it came out that you were wrong, all of a sudden you're quiet. Or all of a sudden, it's poor you. You're all victims. It was like that whole thing with Chris Hansen. People were being like, we were all so tricked by him and all this. I'm like, shut fuck off. No, you weren't. Nobody was tricked by that man. He showed what it was. He was like, I have no degree like that. I don't like, I'm a journalist, quote unquote. And I got that way because I got a deal on this TV show. I have really no qualifications other than the TV show you watched as a kid to do any of this. Are you going to support me? Everybody was like, yeah, we're going to support you. And then they're mad that now they're getting emails and shit talking about the investigation for Discovery or wherever because he played y'all. Like, don't be mad. You knew what it was because your dumbass believed him and trusted him off of nothing. Doesn't mean all of a sudden you can swear to God that you were tricked, you were played, that you were all fooled. No. Y'all trusted him stupidly, and your kid audience trusted you. So if anything, it's as guilty as he is, you're similarly as guilty because people were gassing this man up beforehand. But now all of a sudden, I can't believe he tricked us all. like I was even. This is why I didn't like. I made jokes about it. But personally, for me, I didn't give him any money. Didn't watch his live streams. I watched people that watched his live streams because something about it seemed fishy. I'm like, he is not doing this. And as soon as the first mistake happened, I was like, okay, no, I can't even trust him. I couldn't trust you before, and I can't trust you now. Like, it's just simple as that. And now that it came out, it's like, well, fuck, I probably should have, now I think about it, probably should have went harder on people, telling people, like, don't trust this man, he's full of shit. I probably should have said something and, spoke up and said something, but I thought that it was fine, because I'm like, well, like, I'm be honest with you, I didn't care. I didn't care that much. Onision has been on this platform for how long? I don't think Chris Hansen was even going to be able to take him down, even if he had, the brain cells to do so. I don't think it was going to happen. I honestly just think that he was going to get away with it. Many people have. Almost like very few people actually go to jail for that type of stuff. Actually that's really cool. I think I'm gonna make an alien character with just like solid eyes. I love that creepy look. Anyways, that's all I was trying to say. I feel like I forgot to read the rest of the. Let me read them. What I don't understand. I read that. I'm sorry. Because most of the time these people are guilty of the same shit. That's what I was trying to say. I got what it was. Oh my god, did you see Jeffree Star might get arrested for paying people to be quiet during a case against him? I did not see that. I heard about that, but I honestly don't. I don't believe these people. I don't believe these people. I'm like, okay, well, don't tell me he might go to jail. Like, tell me if he's going to jail or not. Until people like he might be arrested, like clickbait ass titles, and I'm like, no, I don't trust you. Your title already looks clickbait as fuck. I think that it was speculation that this happened. I don't see anybody that's really proven it. And if he goes to jail for it, then he goes to jail. Good on him. He needs to go to jail anyways. Well, in that situation, he needs to go to jail. Let me say it like that. That's my pin drop. But I did not hear about that. But if he goes to jail, I mean, it is what it is. If that happened, if he paid people off, if that's what happened, that's a shitty thing. That's gross. And I heard that it has something to do with the R word. And so not the R word like the slur, the R word like the thing you're not supposed to do ever to anyone ever. So I don't even care at this point. I'm sick of him. I don't know. Even the Shane Dawson thing made me like irritated at him. His gross richness was just, it was weird. Like it was like those people who are really gross, but they'll get mad. They'll like not get mad, but they'll like judge you for being less gross than they are. Like that's kind of how I felt with him. Like, and I mean that in the sense of a general grossness. Like not even just his actions. I mean like he genuinely seems like he'll say that Shane's gross and acts like his like touching his stuff is like he's infected in some way. But then we saw his beauty room, and I'm like, that looks nasty. That's some gross, old, weird makeup. You look like a hoarder. Like, you got your dogs everywhere, basically peeing it. Like, I didn't fuck with him like that anyways. His makeup seemed decent, but I haven't bought anything from him, so. Still let him pour. Oh, I can change my eyelash color. What? What? Can I really? Oh. Change my eyelash color. That's cool. Make it white. Man, Daddy, you talk too much. He's too chat. Here. I think I'll make it like this. And talk too much. Let's see. Oh, is it not working? Wait. I see. Oh. 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 I mean, that's an eyelash. Yeah, that's an eyelash. I think I'll just leave the eyelashes alone. No, I kind of want to make them like... Yeah, I'll just kind of... No, it's kind of weird. Here. Okay, well, I don't know what to do with that. I see there's a thing for it. Is there no thing for it? Oh, okay, I guess there's not. I don't know. Oh, there's eyeliner, what it is. Let's see. Nope, that's just another thing of chunk. But I think I'm gonna have to like actually go into something and then like actually make it what it is. So that's gonna be the case. I'm just gonna leave the eyelashes for what it is and do the textures when I actually try to make this not look like it is. Okay, so I'm done with the face. I think the hair is fine. Let me see. But I know yeah, I think the hair's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. Anyways, low-key, this is fun. Like, I wanted to go into 3D modeling anyways, so this is kind of fun for me for just the sole reason of making the hair, do it like that. That's just was a fun process. I like the curls. I like that I can make it have like, you know, wave to it. I am disappointed on how it looks because I feel like I could have done better and I should have went with smaller things, a smaller brush size and whatnot. And I wanted to make the bangs like, you know, like the cutoff bangs, the ones that are like kind of like that go with the bowl cut, but like longer hair. And it just was a lot. I couldn't make it like I wanted to make it, but and plus the layering for that would have been ridiculous. I don't think I wanted to do that. But I like it anyways. Oh. Cool. Let's see. What was I talking about just now? I just was talking about something I know I was. This taking up accountability. Right. That whole thing with the accountability thing just really pissed me off. I just hate people talking about that shit, but then don't actually want to do it. Or don't actually do it. Like, it's obvious to me, personally, that you just kind of want... You want someone to be something that they're not. And I can't say that I'm surprised. I can't even say that care, honestly. It's just, I guess, it's just irritating seeing it. You know? Make it a little bit lighter so I can see their skin tone a little bit better. Ah, there we go. It's just irritating. That's all I'm trying to say. Oh. That looks... I'm not gonna talk about how that looks. Oh, I love her. I don't know why. I love her. She's so cute. I don't know why I made this, but I'm actually really happy I did. Ugh. I don't like the anger. It's not even her, it's the teeth. That's probably something I had in the face. Even if the teeth were white, it's gross. I hate it. Oh god. Oh god. It's so gross looking. Am I wrong? It's like, it's great, but also like... I'm not really here for it, but it is what it is. Anyways, I think that's all I really had to talk about in the sense of that. I might just go on a ramble about random shit at this point. I have been trying to look up what programs I need to even make this work. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. Well, go talk about that. Do I need to? Should I? Let me weigh my options here. Should I even talk about that? I guess I could. I guess I could talk about, on top of the accountability thing that's irritating, there's also the greater assumption about someone's character off of what you, well, basically what I'm saying is credibility doesn't really matter most times, I feel like, to people. And the main example I have is what you tolerate, what you don't tolerate, basically. So, for example, people... It specifically reminded me of the Fedmeister thing that's going on right now, where people were getting mad at, first of all, people were getting mad at Fed, or were mad at Fed for stuff that they really couldn't necessarily prove that he was doing. It was just kind of like a assumption type, or not assumption, but a word of mouth type thing. Then it came out that he might be innocent of anything too serious. But then it came out, okay, something might have happened, but it's hard to say. But while that was happening, I think I realized that Pokimane sucks. Like, during this entire situation, she's just sucked and nobody cares. No one cares that she's like trash. Like, I don't quite understand it. And what I mean by that is, I heard a child, sorry. But what I mean by that, her sucking, necessarily, is she also said and did not mention that she was also trying to get somebody kicked out. They were like, but he was trying to get this person actively kicked out, and it's like, okay, well, you did too. And basically the excuse they all gave her and why they all forgave her, and she said sorry, and all of a sudden it's all forgiven, that you just, didn't tell me that you were trying to get me kicked out at the time. was, well, I know I said that, but like, I didn't tell anybody. And it's like, okay, that's worse. That you felt that way, didn't say anything, but then were smiling in my face as if it was fine. You know, I mean, if you have a problem, say something. Why would you not say something? And on top of that, we found out recently that there was another person in that situation that had a unpleasant experience with Fed. And again, I didn't read all the Google Docs. I had to read or watch videos on it because I was like, that's another rant that I'm going to get into in a second. The Google Docs in general are problems, in my opinion. But, excuse me. I didn't read the entire thing. I watched people read it, which that's the best I could do. I'm gonna be honest with you. But we found out that there's another person that had a situation with Fed that was way worse, and that should have several witnesses, and that Pokimane knew about and didn't say shit about. And that's where it's like, okay, what was your intention in the first place? Was your intention to find, or was your intention to, that's what I'm looking for. Like, was her intention to help these people? Because that's what I thought her intention was at first. I go, that's your intention, was just to, help these girls and give them somewhat of a voice, and you just believe them blindly. Okay, I can see that. But now that I know that there's this one girl where he's like he literally allegedly put his whole face in her crotch with no permission, and then was really pushy and uncomfortable with her cuddling with him. And it's like, at that point, how do you not say anything about that? Because Pokey knew. Like, it was said that she had messaged Pokey about it, that Pokey was in contact with her. It was a whole thing. She knew. And you didn't add that into the Google Doc. You didn't talk about that at the time. Did you even acknowledge that it happened to her? Like, not say, oh, well, I'm sorry that happened to you. It's crazy. Like, genuinely made it known, and like, hey, this happened to her. It's not okay. There was a witness in it was a whole thing. And you knew about it, and it's even if it was an allegation, still, at least making it known more than not at all. And like, with that situation, it's like, you do also have to question people's intention, in the sense of, you could say that Pokey did really nothing too bad, but also you have to now question everything about her whole stance on this when you hear about that. Because when you know about something that's supposed to be one of the damning pieces, or supposed to be a damning piece of evidence, and you don't say it, I just have to question her intention. Was your intention to try to actively ruin him with flimsy allegations that you knew people would back you up on more, or was your intention to actually help or give light to the people who are making these allegations because you truly believe them? You get what I'm saying? Like, I just, there's just now questions. I feel like, in general, people tend to do that. They tend to not question everybody's intentions because, again, you want to be looked at as right. You want to be looked at as, I helped this person. This is why I had a whole problem with the Toby situation. That's how everyone kind of took it. I keep bringing that situation up. I don't want to keep bringing it up, but it's the clearest and most understandable example of this shit. And it's the most recent, so everybody understands this. You know what I mean? I don't have to explain it to nobody. That's pretty much why I keep bringing this up. But in that situation, when you keep seeing a domino effect of people doing something wrong after wrong after wrong after wrong, even if they're a majority in the right, you then have to question their intentions. And when you don't start questioning shit, it makes things, it just makes things way more simple than they are. because someone could be right in something but have the total wrong approach to it. They could have had evil intentions while doing something, but they're majority in the right, so you're just gonna ignore it. And it's just, I can't, personally, it bothers me, that shit. Yeah, new layer. Add one, add a new layer. Oh. Other than that, I want to talk about, just lastly, Google Documents. Can we stop making whole Google Docs, please? Please, just please. Just please. I know I was loud just now, but can we stop? Can we actually stop? Like, genuinely? Like, I'm so... Once I saw one that was 19 pages, I was like, this is going too far. I tolerated Twitter threads. I tolerated Twitter longers. What?
I need a pull-up.
Okay, well, where's the pull-ups?
They're outside.
Okay, well, can you go get one? Cool. I tolerated Twit longers. I tolerated them all. I don't really want to tolerate the Google Docs. I don't want to tolerate 19 pages. I don't want to do it. And I feel like, low-key, we're setting a standard. Honestly, all these topics, it's all just setting a standard for this stuff. And it just repeats itself because everybody wants to do it. And not say nothing. And I'm not doing the Google document thing. I'm not reading 19 pages of, somebody was rude to you. I'm not doing it. That's not a pull-up. I need you to go get a pull-up. You know where your pull-ups at. Don't make me go and get it. That's not, I don't need to do that. No, you know where your pull-up is. It's in Mom's room. Go in Mom's room and get the pull-up. I can't with her. She does so much. Just go get a pull-up, Michaela. Don't do that. Michaela, if I get up, go get a pull-up. She knows exactly where they are. She's just... I just told her where they are. She knows where... She just wants to play a game. I can't. My point is, I'm not tolerating 19 pages of a document that's about how this person was rude to you. Like, I don't... Or this person should be labeled a bad person. Especially if you're a content creator. I'm not reading it. I don't even care what it's about. I'm not reading it. I'm assuming that you're guilty if you bring that out. If you make videos, don't make... Why don't you just make a video? I don't understand. It literally doesn't even make any sense. It's the easiest way. It gets everything out. You want to type out a whole bunch of stuff, and it makes no sense. It's like telling me to read a poem to understand your feelings. No, just tell me your feelings. If I'm trying to make you read a whole dissertation about how you feel about something, it's not a thing. I'm not doing it.
Pretty sure I got pull-up.
Did you poop though?
I got pull-up.
Or did you poop?
I poop.
Did you poop?
I got pull-up.
Turn around and show me. You did poop. I need, go get the, go get wipes, please. Cause you pooped. I can't. Okay. Can't. Okay, look, go in. my door. She's letting on air. It's cold in here. Crack my door. Anyways. Sorry, I said what I said. I gotta go. See, I told you, once they start waking up, I gotta go. But I will see you guys later. Hopefully later tonight, when I am done with this beauty, I will have everything set up. I'll see you later, okay? Peace. Love. Good night. Morning. I don't know what it is for you. Goodbye.